was silly, ridiculous, a waste of time. They didn't want that's why they were so successful. That's why they got away.
I'm surprised they don't want this, but they're funny.
I've made a living in very dangerous.
This is more of an integrated blue society.
Dianne Andrews in black and white. Welcome back to Dianne Andrews in black and white for the second show on Donna Britt with ALS entitled Courage Under Fire. From the last show, we were at Donna's home. And as you saw how she handled herself in the home, we have now come to WAFB Channel 9, the CBS affiliate in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We will be in the newsroom seeing how Donna maneuvers with her wheelchair. We will also talk to her co-workers, including the Vice President and General Manager, Mr. Meredith. Thank you very much, Hibernia Wealth Management in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, for sponsoring this episode of Dianne Andrews in Black and White. As you know, we're continuing our first segment on Donna Britt. With me today, or at this time, is her co-anchor of Evening News, which is Mr. Greg Meriwether. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you,
Greg.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for being here 16 years on WAFB and just had your anniversary, I just heard you
Yes,
say.
it's Saturday, so when I came here I had a full head of hair, so what's that tell you?
It's been a while, huh?
It's been a while.
And here you have sinus, and that's a Louisiana thing because
Yes.
you're from Kentucky. It's not as humid, right? Western
No,
Kentucky.
it definitely doesn't last as long for sure.
Yeah, and the heat, you get 4 seasons in
Yeah,
Kentucky,
well, I
don't
do
you?
miss
Which
the
is a good-
seasons.
Yeah, and the bourbon and the horses probably
Bourbon
too.
and the
They're known
horses,
for,
too.
right? Well, Greg, what I wanted to talk to you about, I heard your and congratulations on your Edward R. Murrow Award.
Thank you.
Congratulations for that. But I want to talk to you some about Donna. I know for 9 months, she was struggling here trying to get an answer what this was going on with her and with the problem she was having with her left leg. And when she finally got it from Houston Methodist, over there, it was in July of this year. I talked to her about, she was molested in college, sexual molestation in college at Southern Mississippi before she came to LSU. And then we talked about her cancer, and now this. And this is fatal, and she's very clear and understanding and has no problem with us talking about this is terminal. But that doesn't mean, life is terminal for all of us in reality.
Right.
So would you tell me, I heard you very gracious, as I said to her when she found out, when you found out being a co-anchor you're very close,
Sure,
you have to
absolutely.
be. So what did it do to you and how has it changed the newsroom for you all?
We just kind of let Donna lead and went off of her attitude and she said in her email to everybody in her letter that she was not going to be somebody that was dying with the disease, but rather living with the disease. So we've just kind of followed her lead, and she's upbeat, she's happy, she's walking around with a smile on her face. So we should walk around with a smile on our face because it is sad when you think about something like this. And but when you see her and you see that she's still moving along, being sad and unhappy, and it's just not going to help her because that's not how she is.
Right, because she finds a way, and she mentioned on our first segment that her doctor in Houston told her that you have to meet each obstacle and overcome each obstacle one at a time. And that's what her attitude's all about, and that's what she's doing. I remember my mother got hit by a car when I was a young person. And to see her be debilitated like that, it hurts you so much, but it's still my mother and I still love her. And it's the same here. It hurts some, but it's her attitude that keeps you all going. And I said she'll be here longer than us. If attitude can keep you alive, she will be in the ground, and Donna Britt will still be riding around.
Right.
And they may find a cure. They're working on a lot of things now. I know she doesn't take the drugs. She only takes vitamins because it was only a 30% possibility to really help you, and it was a very invasive procedure. But I know now she has found the wheelchair that lifts up, and we will go in the newsroom with you all, and we'll photograph some of that, how she lifts her wheelchair up. But as far as nothing changed, except right now she's a little shorter than she was before.
No, she's still the same Donna Britt she was before and after. I know that's just coming from what I see at work and outside of work, but I'm sure things have changed for her personally and behind the scenes. And Donna has a terrific way of, I don't want to say putting on, but at least putting a good smile on and a good face on things. And so I don't think any of us realize what may be going on, you know, in her quiet moments. We all have those, and in her inner prayers and things like that. But as far as here, she's still the same wacky Donna Britt that we've always known. She's behind the scenes, she is a wacky person.
She's fun.
Yeah, she's fun.
I've got to know her pretty well in planning because I produce my own shows, and in producing the show, we talked a lot and texted a lot and emailed a lot and learning
Very
a lot
unique,
about
yeah.
her. Yeah, she's one of a kind, and I mean that in a good way.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah. She's funny. She's real funny. At the house, she did mention
That changes,
that
you know, like
it took her 4 times longer now to
I used to
wash and
do
fold
it
the
in
clothes for her
one
2
day.
guys, you know, her
Right,
husband
right.
and her 17-year-old son. So, but she again just meets every obstacle with resilience and a great attitude.
Yeah, and I think that's what keeps not only her going, but all her coworkers and her family and her friends, Louis, her son that you mentioned, and her husband Mark. I think that's what keeps them going because she does have a positive attitude about it.
I'm going to ask you something. In fact, it's something I do shows on Black, White, Blue Lives Matter with Silky Slim. And,
Sure.
And the former chief. We did and white and black ministers. And Mr. Meredith and I were talking about it before, and Donna asked me this question when I was interviewing her about how do you, and both of us being black, how can we fix this problem of the black-white situation today? I don't really think it's as bad as the media projects it to be. I know economically it's bad for us black people, but I think a lot of that is we have to do something about it. The government can't supply everything and every need for you, and I talk about that in my shows. Jim Inkster has me on as a conservative on his radio show all the time. But what's your perspective on black-white issues, or if you don't want to speak
No,
about
absolutely,
it on
I'll
TV?
speak to it. I've always thought, and I mean, I spent the first few of my years here in Baton Rouge covering crime, and a lot of it was in the black community. And I've talked with a lot of people, and I was talking with Tony Clayton, who was the former prosecutor, who put a lot of black people on death row for murders they've committed. And he said that he'd never prosecuted at that time a black person with a college degree for murder.
Yeah.
And so it really does come down to education. It sounds so cliche, but it really does come down to education. And a lot of times we have, especially in the poorer parts of our community, grandparents are the ones that are raising the children.
Right.
And the grandparents are getting older.
That's right.
The big mamas, the big daddies, and things that we grew up with, they're getting older, and the kids are just kind of out there. So they're kind of, the society is really raising them now, and you know, that's obviously not a good thing. And it's disheartening sometimes when you speak with young black men that they don't picture their lives past 25.
Right,
And
because so many die.
Yeah.
Or they go to jail.
Right,
Yeah.
so it's get what I can while I'm here, and that's just so disheartening when you think about that. And I'm a Christian, so I believe that, you know, without God you don't have any type of hope. And
Right.
a lot of times I just don't think that they see anything past 25, so there's not a lot of hope there. So
Right.
I really do think it's education. It's got to be parents.
Right, but there are no parents. I was just talking about that
Definitely
with
aren't
Mr.
two
Meredith.
parents most of the time.
There's one.
Right.
If that's a parent, and I'm not being negative to single mothers, because there's so many good single mothers, but when you're 13, you don't even know who you are, 13 to 15 yet, and you don't have an education. The quickest way, as you said, to be poor in America is to be uneducated with a child as a teenager, and you grow up, what kind of jobs can you get?
Well, and to say when grandma's raising the kids, so grandma's doing the school things and trying to do all that, it's not to say that mom isn't there. Usually dad's not there, but it's not to say that mom isn't there.
Right.
It's just mom might be working. She
Right.
might have a couple of jobs. I mean, she might have things that she's got to do.
Right. And now people are staying with their parents longer now because of the economy and the lack of work.
Sure.
Yeah,
Right.
so.
I really do think that I think this is it's a civil war. I think almost within the black community that they and us and everybody together needs to somehow figure out, because we really do have to stop killing each other. I mean, that's the
biggest problem to me,
thing.
and I've done shows on it. There are more white boys killed, and I say boys because they're younger, killed in America than there are blacks. But the media projects every time a black guy is killed that it's, you know, a racial issue, and it's not always a racial issue.
No, it's not. And the other thing is that, I mean, it's almost like we have to clean up our house before we can
That's
go
right.
out to
Go to Chicago and let's start doing something where
Yeah.
so many people are
I mean,
killed.
yeah, I mean,
But Tamar Rice, when you look at things like that, the 12-year-old, you can't say that he wasn't gunned down and murdered.
Sure, no, there's so many tragedies
Yeah,
out
it
there,
is.
but there's also a tragedy out there. We've had it here in Baton Rouge. I mean, just because it might not make the news, national news, or it might not be a white officer killing a young black man, a young black man killing a young black man is just as tragic.
And we never report it. It's
No,
it's okay, it seems, to these people. And that's the biggest loss of life in the black community is black on black crime.
Well,
Not police on black crime.
No, it's definitely not. I mean, we got to get past making the T-shirts, writing
Yeah.
"Rest in Peace" on your car,
Yeah.
going to a vigil, and then moving on.
Right.
Without, I mean, it's got to start affecting people. I mean, it's only we're killing ourselves, really.
We really are. And we can protest when a black is killed by a policeman, but when the black neighbor killed the little girl sitting on the step by mistake.
Right.
So
right.
we've just got to do a better job, and I don't have the answer. I guess nobody's got the answer right
No,
now except
I
to
mean,
get
it's
back in the
plenty
communities.
plenty of prayer and education. I mean, that's
We've
the
got to
absolute-
get them into the school system and stay there.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you really do.
Thank you, Greg, for
Thank
being
you. I
with us.
appreciate
I
it.
appreciate
Yeah,
you coming in.
absolutely.
It was very nice meeting you again
Thank you. I
and
appreciate
talking
it.
to you.
Yeah, thank you. I learned a lot, actually.
ALS doesn't just kill you, it shuts you down, little by little, bit by bit.
It starts small. Maybe it's holding a pencil that gets difficult.
Or getting up from your chair. Then you find it hard to turn the pages of your book.
Because you can't move your fingers.
Your mind keeps working, but your body doesn't respond.
You won't see it coming because no one knows where it comes from.
Soon you can't hug your mother or pick up your child.
You won't be able to tie your shoes.
You don't need to tie your shoes because now you can't walk.
You can't eat or shave.
Or laugh or sing.
First you can't catch your ball, then you can't catch your breath.
ALS doesn't just kill you.
It steals your life, a little bit at a time.
And it doesn't stop until there's nothing left.
Unless we stop it first.
Unless we stop it now.
I'm Dave Gleason. Let's put our heads together and find a cure for ALS.
Thank you, Mr. Meredith, for being with us, and Dianne Andrews in Black and White.
Happy to do it.
On the second half of the show that we've started with Donna Britt earlier today, you are the Vice President and General Manager of WAFB.
Yes.
A CBS affiliate, and
Yes.
have been here about 3.5 years from Memphis.
I have been, that's right.
And you went to Trinity University over there. You're a Texas guy.
I am Texan, that's
Yeah,
right.
you're a Texan. And first I'll ask a little bit about you. It's so gracious of you to even talk to us at Dianne Andrews in Black and White. I know how busy an executive is.
I'm happy to do it, no.
How did you end up here in a few seconds?
I've been with this company that owns WFB, Raycom Media, for about almost 20 years now, and worked in several different cities, Columbia, South Carolina, Huntsville, Alabama, Memphis, and now Baton Rouge. Great company, and it's been a great ride.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
We appreciate you being here, and you're number 2 in the state, I think. I won't mention that number 1 place.
I think we're number 1 in the state.
Oh, you're number 1 in the state? Okay.
I'd call
I
us
may have got
number
some
1.
bad-
I don't know who's going to claim superior order. We have a really great team here.
Yeah.
If that's what you're referring to
Yes.
as a business, we
Yes.
have a terrific group of folks, and of course Donna Britt is
Yes.
a real leader in among our entire team, and especially our news operation. But yeah, I'm blessed to be working with a great group of people, most of whom I didn't hire, so I can't take credit, but I'm happy to be on the team.
That's right. And as we're speaking, as you said about Donna, of course, she's well known in the community and as a community activist, doing a lot of things in the community. And in fact, as we were just talking about some black, white, blue issues,
Yes.
that was the last question she brought up on the interview of the first half of this segment, these segments on her. As to her ALS, or Lou Gehrig's disease, as most people know it by.
Yes.
What have you all done here at WAFB? I know she didn't find out for 9 months. She sweated with, what is this?
Right.
Going to various doctors in Louisiana, and Houston Methodist Neurological Institute was able to determine that it was ALS, which is fatal, and we talked about that today in the first half of the show with her. She's a very brave woman. She takes it one day at a time, takes one challenge, one
Right.
at a time to win.
Right.
And that's the only way. I told people, I said, if attitude will keep you here, she'll be here much longer than me and most people that I know.
That's true. She's got a terrific attitude.
So what have you all done at WAFB? Because she said you've been very gracious to her, and I think implementing some, or going to implement some things as she knows that she will lose more muscle capability in her hands and has already lost in her legs?
You know, honestly, we've done what anybody would do, but we haven't done anything truly extraordinary. The extraordinary thing here is Donna.
Right.
What you know, Donna has done for herself. She's made a decision that she wants to work as long as she can, and we couldn't be happier that that's the decision she made. And we certainly would have understood if it wasn't the decision she made, but we're thrilled that it is. She's been a huge part of our operation for 40 years, and extremely productive and extremely well regarded by everybody on our team and everybody in our community. And you know, we're going to do everything we can to be as supportive as we can. But in terms of literal accommodations, you know, we've done everything we can, but you know, it's fallen in many ways more on her than on us. And she's done a great job. She found you know, our news set sits up a little higher. The desk does, because the cameras are up a little higher, and so she went out and found a wheelchair that.
But you used to have to walk around there, I think she said.
Yeah,
you had to walk around to different.
Yeah, well, we did. You know, she can't do that,
right.
So that's just what that is. But
so she's stationary now.
But she on her own found a wheelchair that would elevate 12 inches so that she could appear on set just like, you know, she would in any event, which is terrific. And so she's doing everything she can to you know, to deal with a difficult situation, and I respect her tremendously for doing what she's doing.
I really do too. Like I said, I call this segment Courage Under Fire, Donna Britt with ALS Courage Under Fire, because I think whatever the fire is, Donna's going to try to put it out. And I'm hoping she's very successful with all the new invented medicine and procedures that are coming along. And she is one of those. She believes her uncle had it, and her grandmother was called senile, but she said it was really ALS, they believed. So, Mr. Meredith, I really appreciate you talking to us today. I appreciate what you all do in the community.
But now with this digital stuff, we're going to be able to do really thin slices of content that are extremely important to smaller groups of people.
Right.
And with the OTT and the internet, digital stuff, it really opens the door. It really does open the door. Yeah. And the content's out there. Right now, your show's out there, but I hadn't found it yet.
Right, you got it now.
Yeah, but with the connectivity that we can provide, I think we'll be able to provide. We're going to be able to help people to find a lot more
audience.
Yeah, a lot more targeted content. Which so it's going to be important for us to develop relationships with program producers. So, like I said, I'm blessed to be on a great team, and Donna, of all the great people on our team, Donna is certainly one of the greatest.
But Mr. Meredith, I will say this. I've been in corporate America too. A lot comes from the direction of the leader, even though they were here before you. Yeah. The leader makes a big difference. And if that's being a leader, just to sit back and let them do what they do, then that's still being a great leader.
Well, it's a fun team to be a part of.
And that's one reason she said she's still working. She said, all my friends are here.
Yeah.
And that's keeping her going, and I applaud you all for whatever you're doing to help it. Yes.
Vice versa.
Thank you, Mr. Meredith.
Thank
for
you.
being with
Appreciate
Dianne Andrews in Black and White today.
Thank you.
Order your copies now of Dianne Andrews' latest books, Third Man Out, a suspenseful mystery by Dianne Andrews, and Gumbo for the Heart, 25 stories of faith, hope, and charity, both available now on Amazon.com.
Donna's sitting here with us, and she's sitting 12 inches higher than she was in the home. So, Donna, tell us about how you maneuver around the newsroom. We're in the newsroom.
When I lost my knees, I couldn't stand up anymore. And what I used to do is use a walker to get here and stand up with a cane nearby so that I could bolster myself if I needed to. But I stood up. And the reason is because in this set, you have all these screens around the room. And those screens are jazzing up the picture on TV, you know, and so you go stand in front of it and you present this one story here, one story over there. Well, as soon as I became handicapped, I couldn't do any of that. All right, and also they were trying to figure out, do they build a great big box with a long ramp for me to ride my wheelchair up? How am I going to get up here? But when I got this snazzy new wheelchair, I got an elevator in it. I don't know if you can see because it moves really slow, but I'm going down, down, down. Anyway, I'll go back up. But what I do is I raise...
And you went out and found that yourself, didn't you, Donna?
Well, when they were building it, I bought the extra thing, you know.
Yeah.
It's sort of like buying nice rims for your truck. Well, I bought an elevator for my wheelchair.
Right, and if, without that, you couldn't
Right.
do the news. could
Now,
you?
I don't move around.
Right.
I stay right
Greg
here.
carries the heavy. He's got to
Right.
be the entertainment guy now, right?
Right.
Moving
Well, I
around.
think he keeps everybody interested.
He does.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does. What else is different for you in the newsroom, in the setting here?
Mainly, I do not have upper arm muscles, and so I cannot do the back of my hair. And there's a lady in promotions that every day I go back there and she fluffs up my hair like a salon, which is very nice for me because I literally can't reach back there
Right.
and do that stuff. Also, makeup is very hard to put on.
Now, you don't have
because-
makeup people here.
No,
You put your own
it on
makeup
yourself.
Uh-huh.
Ladies, think about mascara and turning your hand like that. It's very hard for me because all I've got is knuckles to work with. The fingertips are not strong enough to hold anything. And so makeup takes a long time. Probably, I used to be able to do it in 10 to 15 minutes, and now it takes me, I think, 30 minutes is a long time.
Just like the clothes, right? It takes 4 times longer to do the folding and the
Right.
washing of the clothes for your guys at home. And
Now, in the newsroom, I don't notice that big a difference, except that I have to be careful because there are so many people moving quickly around the newsroom that I don't want to back into them,
Right.
you know? And so they're all watching out for me too, you know?
Right.
But I can see someone walking along and they'll look back and see me and they'll start shoving chairs out of the way. It's like they're running block for me and I'm going for the goal line, you know?
Well, it's one thing you said at your home. One reason you still want to work is your friends are here. There's a very warm atmosphere, and just the few people we've talked to love you.
Well, but
They love your attitude. They love you.
I couldn't do it without their help. Though.
Right.
They've been so wonderful to me.
But I don't think they can do the news as well without your help here, that you are such an integral part and the main person in news, evening news here in the Baton Rouge WAFB family. I can tell you that from the few people that I've talked to.
Diane, I want to tell people something about the sexual molestation in my life. The reason I landed in Baton Rouge is I was running away from my abuser in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. So I transferred from Southern Miss to LSU.
The professor, he was a
Right.
professor at your university.
All right, so I come to LSU and I am shaken, but I made flag captain of the Flag Corps, you know, and I'm just busy, and everything's fine. But what I want to point out is that if I had not moved from Hattiesburg to Baton Rouge, I never would have found my life mate, Mark Ballard.
Right.
Because we were working at the same radio station. I never would have found news because Carlton Cremines wouldn't have heard me on the radio and tried to hire me.
And you would have been in music education probably.
It just shows you how much Plan B, which we talked about in the other show, can be the one that really fits your soul the best.
Right.
And so when you have tragedy in your life, think about it as a bridge to this new thing that possibly could be the best thing you ever could do.
And we all have those. We have bridges. Some we want to cross and some we don't want to cross.
Right.
And I know, Donna, you'll continue to cross this bridge and you'll win. Thanks.
Well, you were going to give me a book,
I've written 2 books. I'm writing my 3rd. This one, I think, the motivational book, Gumbo for the Heart, has Joan Honoré in it, Lola Falana, the mayor of Houston, our Senator Cassidy, who just lost that health care bill, the Cassidy Graham bill. And it has just regular people, as we all really are, breast cancer survivors, spinal cancer survivors, people who lost their businesses 4 or 5 times. As I said, Houston's Mayor Bill White at the time. So this is called Gumbo for the Heart, both my books on Amazon. Now, I don't read fiction books, but Third Man Out is a fiction book, and I wrote it at the time when my mother was sick, and I was taking care of her, which is why I came to Baton Rouge. And so it's a very exciting, you can't figure it out book, because I'm a math major, and 2 + 2 better equal 4. So if you like fiction, it's a page turner. It's a twister. So.
Is it a movie in the making?
I'm trying. I have. You got it, Donna. You know my aspirations, right? Shoot for the stars, right? Shoot for the moon and you'll land on the stars. Is that the way it says?
Oh, my band director used to say, shoot for the moon so you clear the trees.
So you clear the trees, okay. And that's a good thing, too, to clear the trees. Thanks very much, Donna. Is there anything else that...
It's my great pleasure. Thank you for doing this.
It's been our pleasure. It's been wonderful. Since we recorded this second show at WAFB, Donna has decided to only do the 6 o'clock news, even though she is working still 8 hours at WAFB. So next you will see her Facebook video of why she is spending more time with her family and what she's decided to do.
Hi, I'm on live to tell you good news. I have been told that I'm shifting to a day shift that will include the 6 o'clock news, and then I can go home with my family and see my son. For all these years when I've been working, I've always worked until 11:30 or 12 at night, and my children would always be in bed asleep when I got home. Now, I guess when Annie was born, in elementary school, I worked out a flex deal where there was a hole in the middle of my schedule and I'd go home for dinner. But the problem with that now is that Mark is my driver, and Mark barely gets me delivered here before he has come back, pull out the ramp, put the wheelchair on it, you know what I mean? And so I stay during the meal. And it means that up until now, I've only seen my son in the mornings on weekdays. And Louis has one more year of school after this year before he's off to college, and I lose that kid to the grown-up world where he's just about to be a grown-up. So what they're going to do is a week from Monday, I am being taken off the 10 o'clock news, and Elizabeth Vowell is being put there. Now, you know Liz, she's the weekend anchor. She's been a super reporter and totally part of our family for years. And she has a beautiful voice, and she's really, really competent. You're going to love having Liz at the new queen of the 10 o'clock, okay? So I will have a reasonable schedule. I will be able to come here in the morning and help the newscasts during the day, and then do the 6 o'clock news, and then go home at the end of the workday when my husband goes home from his job. We're not going to be switched between two jobs that are on opposite ends of the world anymore. Because, see, he worked day and I worked nights, and yet when I would have to try and go to a hair appointment or anything I needed to do, like go to a doctor, he had to leave work in order to take me there. Now, it's going to be sweet. It's going to be exactly what our family needed.
Everyone can see why Donna Britt is the apple of everyone's eye here at WAFB. From her co-workers, her co-anchor, to the vice president and general manager, Mr. Lee Meredith. She is also the apple of everyone's eye within her Facebook, which over 100,000 friends and followers I think Donna has. She really exemplifies a person with courage under fire who keeps a great attitude. So I will tell everyone in my viewing audience to run from your tears and fears into the arms of your dreams. And it doesn't matter how high you fly in the sky, but how long you stay in that sky. We wanted to come out here to a pleasant, beautiful background. You may hear a lot of noise doing this extra, but remember these words. Between black and white, there are always shades of gray. See you next week on Dianne Andrews in Black and White.